Nevaeh, you can learn keys if you want.
Okay.
Wait.
Nevaeh, how'd you get a book, huh?
Nevaeh, how'd you get a book?
Nevaeh, how did you get a book?
Nevaeh, I think that's mine.
Hey, wait, I don't got a
I
book.
got it off the shelf.
Drew, where'd you get that?
I
Let
still
me
have one.
investigate this real quick.
Inspector. Inspector.
See? Everybody,
What does it say?
it says my name.
This is Josiah.
Josiah White.
Who's sharing the book with me? Listen, I only have one book.
I have one in my car.
Outside of the classroom?
No. Like, I got one Uno book.
It's
Josh,
me.
alright, I
I'm
can't Josh.
me.
Okay.
Bethany has one.
What page?
Bethany has
Page 326.
Go around
Okay.
and get it.
336.
So you guys remember how to solve with like sine of x equals, let's say,
Cosine minus 1.
if we have this equation right here, how do we solve this for x?
Sine inverse.
Sine inverse. Okay, now there is no secant on the calculator, right? So what was secant reciprocal of?
1 over cosine.
Cosine. So if I change this to cosine squared, what would that be equal to? Do you guys know?
Cosine squared of theta?
If secant squared equals 9, what would cosine squared equal?
1 over 9.
1 over 9. It's reciprocal.
Whoa.
So it's like if we flip this upside down, it turns into this, so we gotta flip this upside down.
9 over 1?
I get that, but like, how do we know
10
secant
over
squared
9.
is 9?
Yeah, why is it squared?
How do we know secant
Oh,
squared?
this is number 1 on page 326.
I thought we were still
So
like
what are we trying to figure out?
Theta, the angle.
Okay.
trying to find out.
Okay, if cosine squared, okay, let me back up for a second. If x squared equals 9, what would x equal?
3.
Square root of 9, which is 3.
3,
Plus or
or,
minus.
yeah, could be negative 3, right? Because negative 3 also, what do we equal? So if cosine squared equals 1/9, then cosine would equal, well, same thing, you do the square root. What's the square root of 1/9? What's the square root of 1?
1.
What's the square root of 9?
1/3.
3. So it's positive or negative 1/3. So we gotta do cosine of theta could equal 1/3, or cosine of theta could equal negative 1/3.
So we need calculator.
Yeah,
Calculator?
yeah.
Calculators, yes.
No, y'all. Wait, what? Oh, did you square that? Square root that?
Please.
I square rooted it right here.
Yeah.
And they have letters is not the
Alright. We gotta, here's the thing though, we gotta if you read the directions, it says theta should be everything from 0 to 360. We gotta find all the answers from 0 to 360 that would work with these. Basically, okay, let's just start with this. How do I solve this for theta? Cosine inverse, right?
My calculator unreliable, so.
Okay, the book rounds to the 10th of a degree, that's where they said it. So what do we get for this one?
1.23.
No, that's in radians. Let's do degrees,
How do you know those are radians?
because it's 1.2.
70.53.
It's possible to have a degree like that, but it's not. That would be weird. The fraction would be really, really tiny. Okay. So that's one of the answers.
Are we inverse cosine?
Huh?
Why do we do inverse cosine?
Because that's how you find the angle. If they give you, normally cosine, you feed it an angle and then it spits out a ratio.
Oh, Lord, okay.
Like that. That's normal. If you want to go backwards, you know the ratio, but you want to find the angle, you have to do cosine inverse. We've done it before. Okay, anyway, 70.5 would be like the first quadrant angle. Where else is cosine positive at? Besides the first quadrant?
The 4th quadrant.
4th quadrant. So
360 minus 70.
70.5 would be 360 minus 70.5, which is 289.5. Yeah, 289.5, I think.
What did you ask? What did
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we can't just put that one answer. We're supposed to put all the answers from 0 to 360. We did this like on assignment 1 in this chapter. But if you look over here, if we plug in cosine inverse of negative 1/3, what do we get?
Where it equals negative, right, 109.5. I got 109.
109.5. Okay, 109.5 would be like right here, right? It's a second quadrant angle. Guess what 109.5's reference angle is right here? 70.5. So, anyway, it's cosine is negative here and here. So we need the third quadrant angle. 70.5 is our reference angle. So we need to do 180 plus 70.5.
150. 250.
Bang. 250.
What is it?
250.5.
250.5.
Right?
That's gonna cost you about 250.
250.
250.
So those are the four answers. Basically, we have
So we're just gonna find all.
one answer in each quadrant. They all have a reference angle of 70.5. That means this angle is 70.5 from 0, 70.5. This angle, 109.5, is 70 short of 180. This is 70 past 180. And this is 70 short of 360. So the plus or minus thing makes all the quadrants covered, basically. Cosine is positive in the right two quadrants, negative in the left two quadrants, so every quadrant had an angle. That clear as mud?
And that's
Well,
about,
now you understood it.
Apply yourself.
that's about as clear as antimatter, I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Okay.
It's pretty clear.
Where did I lose you?
That's
You
the
can see
point.
right through it.
Did you get this part?
no.
Yeah.
It's the first.
Okay, did you get this part?
I did not understand that part.
Okay, secant's not on the calculator. So we did the
So
recip-
So if you get a function that is, you don't have to do that.
So the reciprocal of secant is cosine, so I turned it into cosine squared. Which means basically I flipped this upside down, so I had to flip this upside down.
Okay.
Why did you square root it?
Because I wanted to get rid of the square.
So, okay.
When you use the square root trick though, it could, remember when I went through this little spiel over here? It could be positive or negative 3.
Oh, yeah.
So it's positive or negative 1/3.
Okay.
That's anytime you use the square root trick, not just on trig, it's anything. It could be positive or negative back.
Okay.
So cosine inverse of 1/3 is 70.5, which is the right answer, but we're supposed to give all the answers between 0 and 360. Cosine is also positive in the fourth quadrant, so the fourth quadrant version is 360 minus 70.5, which is 289.5. This goes back to reference angles.
Okay.
The second quadrant angle was 180 minus 70.5, and the third quadrant was 180 plus 70.5.
So do we do anything with the cosine of negative 1/3?
Well, we did. The reason we used a second and third quadrant angle was because cosine was equal to a negative on this one.
Okay.
So this gives us two answers. This gives us two answers.
Look, yeah.
All right, let's keep moving. Maybe it'll get clearer as we go. Number 3. 1 minus. What do you think you got? What do you guys think we should do first on number 3?
Change 1 minus CSC 2 to something.
Then I have to look at the table.
Yeah, we can do that. There's like two options we could go. Do you guys remember what 1 minus cosecant squared was? You could get cosecant squared by itself, and then do what we did on number 1.
Would that be easier?
It's the same.
What was the other way?
1 minus cosecant squared was one of the things from the last assignment.
I would say we burn that. You get cosecant
Well,
by itself. Yeah.
Okay, we can get cosecant by itself.
But I don't want to get cosecant by itself.
All you have to do is subtract 1, right?
Where do you have
Subtract 1 and you get -4. Are you guys following me?
No.
Are you guys looking at the book? And that's why you're not following me. Okay, and then divide by -1 to get rid of the negative. And then what did we do at this point on the other problem? If you,
It's a sine.
we did the reciprocal,
Oh,
which is sine squared.
Could you
But if
take
you flip this upside down, you need to flip that upside down.
So
If you square
and
it-
now square root it.
Now square root it, huh?
Could you square it first and then
That
flip
would
it?
be sine inverse of.
Well, you can't square it negative.
forward.
Negative, I was gonna screw it
No,
up.
like after you multiply.
Cosecant squared theta equals,
Oh, well, yeah, you can do it there.
because that would make it 2.
Yeah, you can, it would work, yes.
So it'd be 1/2.
Sine of theta equals
Plus 1.
plus or minus 1. So how do we find, let's start with sine of theta equals 1/2. That's the more useful one. So sine could be positive or negative, so that means all 4 quadrants are gonna have an answer. That's pretty much all these. All 4 quadrants are covered either by a positive or a negative answer. So we need to basically find the reference angle. So what do I plug in?
Sine inverse of.
Sine inverse,
Sine inverse 1/2.
which is
30 degrees.
30 exactly?
Yep.
One of our special triangles. So this one won't take us too long, right? You guys know what I'm gonna do here?
Can I try it?
You're gonna find.
Yeah, Brady, go ahead.
90 plus 30.
Nope,
90 minus 30.
nope. 180 minus 30.
Oh, so 150.
Yep.
And then, what is that again? Oh. 180 plus 30.
Yep.
210.
And,
Oh, 360 minus 30.
yeah. Those are the 4.
Like,
You don't really have to draw the picture, that just kind of helps us imagine it a little bit. The picture's not the answer.
I'm still trying to copy all this down. Give me a second.
Oh no. Number 5, what have you done?
What?
You just buy it.
Just by opinion.
Yeah, someone provided it.
How is square root of 1/2?
Alright, number 5, 6 sine squared minus 7 sine plus 2.
What are we going to?
I'm going to 6, right?
No.
I might as well. I'm not going to understand any of
Yeah,
it.
what are we doing?
7, go to 8.
We should go to
10.
Alright,
8.
any
Mine
bright,
got to 16. Take it as it is.
any bright ideas on this one?
We should.
Oh, you can foil, or reverse foil.
Yeah, factor, yeah.
Oh.
You guys remember how to factor?
No. Oh. No.
But then
Yeah.
he's like, oh gosh.
Oh, wait.
Probably 10 variables. Yeah.
Let's do the quadratic formula.
3 and 2.
You could use quadratic formula.
I'm on you.
3x and 2x, right? That's what goes into 6x squared. What goes into 2?
2 on the right. Plus
Like
2.
Minus 2.
Minus 2.
And then minus 1.
Then minus
Oh, you
1.
guys do remember. Wait, that's not right.
It's not?
Wait, yeah, it is.
Because that'd be 1 times 2.
It's plus 2.
What?
Oh.
Okay, it was 2 on the left. So anyway, yeah, what goes into +2 is -2 and -1. And then you check it, it's supposed to FOIL outside inside, it's supposed to give you -7x.
Oh, that works.
Now what?
It does work.
No, you're correct.
That wasn't the answer.
Now I figured it out.
So if that's how it factors, do you guys remember how to find the answers?
It's it's 2 over 3. 2 over 3. Negative 2 over 3.
Did we do this this
Oh,
year?
we're gonna pop
Yeah,
Oh.
we did a whole
One
big
over
cup
two.
of algebra too.
We did?
We should have said no and negative variables.
I don't, yeah, I was about to be
For
impressed.
the
It's like,
full
wow, you guys
beginning
remember
of the
that?
year.
All
Oh,
my classes run together because we've been doing this in algebra too.
No,
So.
we actually did this last year and we
I-
remember.
I'm smart.
Yeah.
Brady was smart.
Anyway, that's not really the answer though. That's what I replaced sine of theta with x. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
So it's really sine of theta. This one's gonna be different. Equals 2/3, or sine of theta equals 1/2.
So this only had 2 answers.
This has 2 answers. This has 2 answers. They don't all have the same reference angle this time though.
Why are they not negative like things?
Because positive 2/3 is what would make this into a
Oh,
0.
So then you do sine inverse of 2/3 and sine inverse of
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the 4 answers?
And that's 2 answers, but yeah, there's 4 answers altogether that we need.
That's right. We just do the opposite of those.
What quadrants is sine positive in? Do you guys remember that?
The top.
Top 2.
1 and 2.
So these are about to give us some first quadrant. So we need to find the second quadrant angles that go with them. This one was 30. We just did this one, right? You guys remember what the second quadrant angle is that goes with 30 degrees?
Wait. 150.
150.
Oh, I'm so smart. 210, 330.
What did this one come out? This one's gonna be uglier.
It was 41.8 and then 130.2.
So you do 180
Yeah.
plus
No.
minus.
Yeah.
138.
Second quadrant is gonna be short of 180, right? So you gotta do 180 minus.
Wait, we're doing the second.
Yeah, this is a first quadrant angle. Second quadrant runs from 90 degrees to 180 degrees. So sine is positive in the first and second quadrant, right? This is the first quadrant angle. We need the second quadrant angle that goes with it. They should both have the same angle right here.
Okay,
But
so
this angle is not called 40. This angle is measured from here to here, not here to here.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So you do 180 minus 41.8, which is 138.2, is that right?
We should stop.
Do you ever get tired of doing that?
Do you ever
Keep
get
rolling.
tired of
We're on a momentum.
Oh, can you go back up? For a second?
We were on one.
We're on momentum.
I'm like tired of math after one class.
We should go to sleep and then
We
wake
only
up.
have one math.
That's because you have to think about it. He's just like,
If we, yes, did not, I hate triangles.
We're not even doing
if we
triangles right now.
did not,
I hate angles. Wait,
Brady over here sound like Joe
I thought this was
You
right.
can say trigonometry in general, that's what we're doing right now. These are all related to triangles in some way, yes. That's where it started from. Okay,
Who invented triangles? Like, what was he thinking?
God, probably.
God,
Alright,
what are we doing, bro?
you wanna call God out on that?
Triangles, why couldn't they just not exist?
We could be perfectly fine.
What do you guys think we should do on number 7?
I think we should first get everything together.
Number 7.
Probably get everything to the left, right? So
That's what I was saying.
so it looks like number 5. So I'm gonna add the 5 cosine over and subtract the 7 over. So it will be 6 sine squared plus 5 cosine. Whoops. Oh, it is cosine. Oh no.
Ah, never mind.
Oh.
Wait, why do you have stuff again?
Because we
Why?
can't use x as
Why?
a substitute. We
Oh.
can't factor.
Wait, can we change cosine to sine somehow?
Well, you're on the right track. We can change sine squared into something
Sine
else.
squared equals 1 over.
But it's gonna be a doozy.
Oh, cosine over. Wait, cosine.
Why? Why do they do this?
Because they're.
Sine squared equals cosine squared plus 1. Oh wait, no.
Wait,
No.
Sine squared.
Negative cosine squared plus 1.
I like this number.
No. Minus 1.
If we
Cosine minus 1.
Okay. You guys
sine
remember?
squared plus cosine squared.
Yeah, so negative cosine squared.
So
Oh, yeah.
this is the formula from yesterday. Sine squared is equal to what?
Cosine,
No.
negative cosine.
No.
Sine
What?
squared is equal to 1.
No.
1 minus cosine squared.
1 minus cosine.
Oh.
Isn't
I
that
said
negative, negative cosine?
That was
squared?
painful.
I said that.
That was really.
So that would be 6 minus 6 cosine squared. And then that would be.
Are you guys following that? Jackson, you're giving up too quickly. I replaced sine squared with 1 minus cosine squared. Why did I do that? Because there was a cosine over here, and they both need to be the same to do that factoring thing. Like we did on the last problem.
But one's square and one's not.
Yeah,
The last one
just
we
like the last problem. you know?
factored.
That's, we factored that on the, whoops, where am I writing?
Can we add that 6 to the 7?
Yes. I'm just
That's
taking it.
legit.
I'm taking
That's legitness, bro.
Okay,
That's what's up.
6 and the minus 7, yes, they go together to make a minus 1.
Oh, what? Dad. What's her name? Daddy?
Sorry,
Negative 6
You
x
call him,
squared.
you call me.
no, he's my dad.
Okay,
Boogie.
factoring, you could use quadratic formula, if you don't
Should we multiply by negative?
like
one?
factoring. Factoring is a lot easier when your front term is positive, so if you multiply everything by -1, that will fix that little problem.
This problem is just getting worse.
No, we're getting close. We're about, right now we're like at the start of number 5, basically. This is where 5 started off at.
But now there's a lot more that we can get wrong.
It's gonna be 5 and 1. And fart.
Fart.
Is it 6 and then nothing on the other side?
6 and 1.
Yeah, it can't be 6.
Minus 6
Well-
plus 1.
It's nothing there, just means 1.
Oh no, 6 and 1 won't work either.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So we have to use quadratic?
No.
I want 6 and 1.
Oh, because the 1's positive?
Because this is going to be a 1 and 1, and 6 and 1 don't make -5.
But 6 minus 1 is.
Yeah, but
Or,
that would have to be +1, -1. You know what I'm saying? What else goes into 6?
oh, 3 and 2.
Oh, I thought someone already said that, you said that.
Sure you did, Matthew.
Wait, I thought we were turning it to an x.
Sure
What
you
is
did.
this?
Just imagine.
Oh, last time I turned it into an X. You can do
Yeah.
that. I kind of forgot about it.
I kind of.
Cosine just means that.
Okay, pretend there's an X right there.
Pretend cosine is a variable.
Okay, what goes into 1?
1.
1.
1 plus 1.
Okay,
Minus 1, minus 1.
-1, because we want it to add up to a -5. So when I do the outside and the inside, that makes -3 at cosine minus 2 cosine makes -5 cosine.
1/3, 1/2.
Yeah. Cosine of theta would have to equal +1/3 here. I kind of forgot to change them into x's. You don't have to change it into an x. I just did it so it wouldn't look quite so confusing. Cosine of theta has to equal +1/2. Did you guys, are we good?
Are you singing right now?
No.
Oh.
She's singing to the trees.
She's
Did
crying.
you see a tree?
That sounds like a David joke.
She's crying out to the Indians.
Her past names. Like Mulan.
That's Chinese.
Do you know that Native Americans descended from
I'm not
Asians?
even Chinese.
It's true.
That's the joke, Bethany.
Because they walked over the lane bridge.
Well, there's no
If you do
changing
DNA
about
test, they're
Vietnamese
closer
people,
okay?
related to.
It's not our fault.
I
Blame
think it's
Disney.
because
Blame
of the
Disney.
Tower of
Wait, aren't you from
Babel.
Soho?
Scattered into the-
No, she's obviously from
I don't
Phoenix,
know.
right?
Nobody does, that's the
Are you
problem.
from Soho or Panda Express?
Japanese or Chinese?
Those are your 2 options. You gotta choose one.
Chuck P.F.
Can be Korean, can be Thai. I think you were Thai, right? We talked about this one. Vietnamese.
She's
She's
obviously
from
Mexican.
Nam.
She just said from.
I'm literally from Barnesville. My mother is white.
You're not Mexican?
She just said
She's
from.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
Then
dogs
why do you have so
buffet.
many dogs?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. You just said from I love dogs buffet.
Okay. Did you guys get cosine inverse 130, buddy?
Yes.
What was it?
I got 70.5.
Okay, I got
I
you.
think we've done that one.
Okay.
Yeah, number one,
Brady,
7.5.
I got you.
And two
Let him know, Brady.
8.5.
I'm ready to do it.
Well, you should have did it faster.
One what?
289.5.
280. Oh yeah.
Wait, Mr.
Cosine
Jordan,
is positive in the first and fourth quadrant.
so do you only do it in
The
the
other one is
the positive ones?
109.5.
For
and
cosine, yeah.
Okay.
50.5.
So the fourth quadrant,
300.
fourth quadrant is 280.
289.5.
We've done this before. And what was cosine inverse of 1/2? 60.
Yeah.
So the fourth quadrant angle,
Wait, is it 60?
300.
No, it's 30 and 150.
that was sine.
Oh.
That was on
Wait,
sine.
Mr. Jordan.
How dare you insult
What was
my
the first
person?
quadrant?
Sorry.
Snap, snap,
That-
snap.
Oh,
For this one and this for this one.
And for that, I'm not learning
Oh.
the time.
Come on,
Snap, snap, snap.
Learn the keys.
Not doing that either.
Just for
5, 30, 150.
Are there any questions on that one?
It's just because I
Can
never
we
said
be
negative
done?
one half two.
I haven't.
Oh.
Really?
I've tried. I
Have
really
you?
have. I really have. I even banged my head against my calculator.
That's not trying.
What,
Okay,
what did you try?
this was definitely the hardest. It
No,
involved-
yesterday was.
So we're done.
I didn't understand yesterday's either.
This
Are we
one
done?
makes,
Okay,
this one makes sense.
you understand we moved everything to the left,
Yes.
like a
Yes.
x squared problem.
Wait, which?
Then I saw a problem here that I had sine and cosine,
Okay.
and that's, you can't factor it if they're different. So I used the trick from yesterday, sine squared equals 1 minus cosine squared.
Right.
So now I have cosine and cosine, which is good. And then I distribute, I just simplified it.
This,
The 6 and the minus 7 went together. Now it's looking more like a quadratic equation,
Yes.
like a simple
For the
quadratic.
flag.
I didn't want the negative on the front,
Bethany, you
So I'm
just like the girl in striped pajamas.
and then I factored, like,
Literally, like,
on the other problem, I just changed these
I
to
would
x's,
rather
but,
die.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't.
understood that.
and then so cosine actually could equal 1/3. Positive 1/2.
What did she say?
So to find theta, you have to do cosine inverse of this, which gave us that, it's
I haven't
calculated.
watched that movie.
Okay.
it's
Cosine inverse of that is
It's
that.
awful. What's it
Okay.
called?
Cosine is also positive in the fourth
Okay,
quadrant,
I wasn't completely
so we use this for the reference angle in the fourth quadrant. 360 minus this, and 360 minus this.
Well, that bit.
That's it.
No.
The direction said we had to find all angles
look like
from
a-
0 to 360 that
A
would
person who treats spices in India.
No.
Okay, we will do one more with radians. The second section is the same thing with radians. So instead of doing 180 minus, we're gonna be doing like 3.14 minus. Instead of 360 minus,
6 points.
So we gotta go to
6.28 minus. So,
Are we on 9?
number 9.
There's no numbers.
Cosine tangent equals cosine.
There's no numbers on number 9.
We'll fix that in a second.
There's no, what the heck?
Alright,
The math that we're doing
Oh,
doesn't
I
even
know.
involve numbers.
So you subtract cosine,
And then
right?
it's
So
just
that's
tangent.
tangent x equals 0. So then.
no. This is multiplied together.
Oh. So
Okay.
it is.
But you do subtract cosine.
So
But
it's 0. 0 times tangent of x is.
okay, this
Wait, that
fact,
doesn't work
I'm
either.
kinda
You can change tangent to.
this
sine
is the
or
problem.
cosine.
Yeah.
I subtract cosine over to the left.
Yeah, do that.
Mr. Jordan, is
So,
that what you do?
But wouldn't that just take away the cosine? No, he said.
yeah, that's why it's a 0
Well,
now.
on the other side.
No. This is not,
How are you gonna factor?
this is a multiply thing, you can't
Oh, he
subtract.
says you can't.
We can divide.
You can't do like 2x minus 1 equals 1x, that doesn't work, right? You can't, that's the same thing, you can't do cosine x times tangent minus cosine equals tangent. It doesn't work that way. We can factor though.
How do we factor with no
What?
number? Oh wait, this tan, we can change tan. Oh.
Well,
Wait, what if we just divide?
actually you could do that, but that's
Isn't
not.
it like 2
Because then tangent of x would equal 1.
Huh?
There is no squared or anything.
Right?
How do you factor?
What's another way of factoring
Cosine
besides 3-term factor?
Root mean,
No, well, not on this one.
not quadratic
Quadratic.
formula, it's not a quadratic function.
Oh,
Mr. Jordan.
You can plug something in.
Why can't you just
Take-
Substitution.
cosine of x?
Take stuff out.
Take stuff out, that's what I said. Take one out. Oh, you can take cosine out?
What's left if I
Why
take
can't
a
you take
cosine?
1 times tangent minus
Does this
1.
not work?
Minus cos.
This is so weird.
What?
Oh, what's that?
Oh wait, that's something. Wait, is it? No,
Oh.
that's not. No, that's
Okay.
not something.
If either of these factors equals 0, then the whole thing's going to equal 0. How do I make cosine of x into 0? So basically, we want cosine of x to equal 0, or we want,
Where do we get the 1 from?
Because that's what's
we took a cosine out. Cosine divided by cosine.
Oh.
So when we take stuff out, we're actually dividing it out. If we distribute property, like multiply it back together, it'll go back to this, right? Anyways,
Slowly getting.
I want tangent of x to equal 1. You guys know why I want that? Because that would make this equal to 0, which would make it the right answer. So this is my other thing. Cosine of x equals 0, tangent of x equals 1.
I would never get this.
I
Well,
would never get this.
the reason I got it was because I've seen stuff like it before.
They're very smart.
Because I've seen it before.
Wait, how do we get the? I see how we got the
So you
zero
do-
or
you
cosine
do
of x,
your
but how do we get the
calculator
tan x again?
gradients, right?
Because if one
If this
tangent
is
was
equal
one,
to 1, it's kind of like when we're solving this,
Oh, okay, I see.
we want x to be 1.
Right.
In this case, we want tangent of x to be 1.
So and then cosine just is zero because.
Because if that's 0, the whole thing.
Oh, this has to be in radians?
Oh yeah, I forgot, we were doing radians. So switch your calculator radians and then hit
Isn't
cos.
it 1/2 pi and then
Is it like
3/4
cosine?
pi?
Do you
Cos-
use
3/2
inverse
pi.
Cosine inverse, yeah,
of 0?
of 0,
1/2 pi, so pi over 2.
pi over 2. What's cosine or tangent inverse of 1? Should be pi over 4.
Pi over 4.
I'll write it down. So plug that in the calculator. Alright, where else is cosine equal to 0 at? We're going from 0 to 2 pi, 0 to 360.
So
Cosine is
4
based
pi over 3?
on the x value, so where else is x equal to 0 besides pi over 2?
4 pi.
3 pi over 2.
3 pi over 2 is right.
Wait,
That's a tricky one. I don't know.
I just did the opposite. Of what-
Yeah. Right here at 90 degrees, the x value is 2, or sorry, the x value is 0. Pi over 2 is the same as 90. The x value is 0 right here. This is like 0, 1. This is like 0, negative 1. So the x value is also 0 right here.
And that's 3 pi.
This is 3 pi over 2. It's kind of harder when they give us the 0, 1 because you can't do the reference angle thing. Yeah, you kind of can. I guess we could have done pi plus pi over 2. Pi
Or you
plus
could
pi
have
over 2.
done or 6.28.
Oh yeah, we could have done that too. Pi over 4, that's like 45 degrees.
So
Where else is tangent positive at? Third quadrant. So third quadrant, remember this is pi radians out here. So third quadrant will be pi plus
1/4.
pi over 4.
So 5/4.
It is 5/4. Yes. 1 plus 1/4 is 1 1/4 or 5/4 pi.
No.
Yeah.
I like this lesson.
You like it?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's good stuff. Isn't it?
No, the last lesson I hated is this one right here.
You actually like this? What's wrong with that?
No, because it makes sense.
It was making more sense than yesterday's. All right, go.
What?
I almost
Yeah,
said.
at least you guys
I almost